a money-making machine. So it's changing this algorithm or this process constantly so that you will start, you as a person when you show up, you go into a wedding, how you present yourself when you're sitting down in your studio and you're chatting to your couples, or you're having a portrait, you know, businesswoman corporate portrait shot, and you're sitting with them and planning it out. They need to know and feel that there's a connection and that you get them. And that is about your brand. This is about you. Now, how do you do this? You're wondering, oh, that's all nice in words, Johanna, but how do you do this? We do this by unearthing what is you, and that is your story. Okay? So here is the formula. You plus your customer equals a connection, and there's a belief, and that turns into sales. You do have to prompt them with the sales. You can't just wait for the phone to ring. So there is a marketing element which Bernie will talk about, and we'll talk a little bit about how to kind of beef up your website with those kinds of marketing opportunities as well. But other people are doing, you're familiar with your industry, and you start getting this kind of comparisonitis, and you go, oh, damn, I didn't do that, I didn't think of that. They're doing so much better than me. Or I really love their work. Maybe because I heard that they're really successful, maybe I could change what they're doing. Or they're doing 4 different genres of photography. Maybe if I do 4, I might be more successful. So you've got to bring this back and go, it's about you and your story and what you bring to your photos, what you bring to your customers, what you bring to your experience. We're talking about the colours. We're talking about the whole feeling. In order for someone to believe in you, they need to connect with you. They need to connect, and if they have a conversation, that's great, but what if they don't? When I was 13, I watched a movie called Room with a View with Julian Sands and Helena Bonham Carter. It's showing my age. There's a part of it that's set in Florence, and they're sitting looking out over through a window in one moment of the section of the movie over the Arno, and I was like, and I loved period movies, and I just was swept up by it really. I loved it and the romance of it. And when I was 18, my father and my mother separated. My father's an artist and he's a bit cuckoo. And so he decided to run away from New Zealand and go overseas, as you do, had an Amex card with $10,000. And he said, Johanna, if you stop smoking, I started smoking as a teenager. If you stop smoking, I'll take you with me. He just wanted a companion, so basically. And I said, okay, that's fine, I don't mind going to Europe. And my uncle had been living in Italy, working for vineyards. He still does actually. So we went to Florence and had an apartment for a month. And it was like, I feel emotional talking about it now, which is a bit crazy, but it was an amazing experience for all sorts of different reasons. But one of them was because I got exposed to the Europeans and how glamorous they are. And one of the reasons I came to Melbourne was to marry an Italian, and then I realised that all the Italians, they don't want to go and live back in Italy, they actually want to live in Australia, so I was a bit deluded there. But it was this amazing, the elegance, and then their passion and how they presented their food. You know, when you have a plate of food, it's like a piece of art. You know, everything, it's very thoughtful. And, you know, I've carried that through my life in terms of how to present oneself, in regards to websites, you know, how to lay this, how to do the design. I did interior design before I got into web design, and you know, when you go into in a room, there's a focal point. You know, you always see that there's like a piece of art or there's a painting, there's something that you're drawn to. And so this has formed, this experience is my experience. Lots of people have been to Italy, but they haven't done it with my crazy father and my crazy uncle. That hasn't moved them in a similar way. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like one of you, and I really embrace you to kind of volunteer to this stuff, because this process is a process that I take people through, and it's charged. I charge you for it, so you get it free, this portion of it. But we might get Bernie just to quickly do his, and then while you can think about it, and don't think too much, but there'll be something that, what got you into photography? Was there a defining moment? What was something about, you know, your style of photography is, the lighting is because you used to spend your Christmas holidays with a great aunt on a farm, and there's the that lighting that you get in long summer days with the lasting light, you know. So there'll be something, a story that we just want to unearth about you that helps
And
to
my
define
boss actually said to me,
as your brand.
"You're not a wedding photographer, you should be shooting children." And I was like, oh, you know, I just love them. I had basically had the first wedding I shot with him was a groom who didn't try on his clothes before he got married and couldn't fit his colour window up. And so he was just in the foulest mood by the time I got here, and we were in a beautiful apartment in Hunters Hill, you know, just amazing. I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. But he had the cutest little page boy who I just concentrated on because he basically didn't want to talk to me. The groom locked himself away in the room with his mum trying to sort out his collar. And he was in a foul mood and he was snapping at me and he didn't want to be shot. And I was like,
Groomzilla.
yeah. I was like, okay. So I just concentrated on the kids. And then, and then when she was looking, my boss was looking at my photos and she's like, you know, you just, and then the second wedding I shot again, it was just the kids, and she's like, you know, you've just got a real eye for children. And I think because I was in such a bad place, I just connected with kids because I was married and we couldn't have children. And I think I'm an auntie of 9. I have 3 sisters with 9 crazy kids between them. But I'm always photographing the kids, and they just bring an element of innocence, and they're happy, and you know, most of the time you've got that 15-minute window.
The thing about, if I can get a bit personal, the thing about not having kids, is that something for you that you're not able to?
No.
I don't know whether it's because you're not having children or you haven't, but there is something about you, and maybe that nursing thing as well, that there is this deep connection where you don't have to deal with the psychological issues of grown-ups. You've got that purity of connection with children. More or less, it's about the people that you have to tell your story, because otherwise, and you do not tell it in the third person. Please do not tell your stories in third person. I
got home after looking after everyone else's kids, so my daughter also had issues physically when she was born, and being at the hospital 2 or 3 times a week, which was an hour away, just wasn't possible to hold down a job. So I had to look for something else, but whilst in childcare, we had to do portfolios for each child, and the parents would get the photos and that sort of thing at the end of the year. And I had their son every Saturday, and he'd come to the soccer and whatever sports we were playing at the time with us, because they had a children's play gym thing, and he was there 7 days a week if we didn't have him. And as a thank you, she gave me a camera, and that's where it started from. So I haven't been taking photos for very long compared to
Me?
No, not you, but that's your business. That's your website.
I think so. Do you know what? I think Bernie told you I'm revamping my websites.
Okay, all right.
And I'm so turned off my websites, I don't even know what's on them. Like, I'm like doing
That's
these
okay.
ones. Like,
All
I
right,
don't
so
want to look
let's
at
talk
them.
about which one of your businesses or which customer should we talk about?
It doesn't matter.
Well, you pick one, because we need to do just
Do
one.
women want to? Do you guys want
That's
to
right, let's just talk about who they are now and who you want to serve. So this is also about who you want to attract. So if you want to attract more high-paying customers, you're going to understand who that person is and what's important to them. Okay?
Well, that's one of the things. I want to attract higher paying customers.
Okay, so she comes from, which suburb would she live in then? Give me a name of a couple of suburbs where she might live.
I don't think it matters.
Well, it does matter. Because
Really?
yeah, it does matter. I'll show you why.
Okay.
Just name off a couple of 5 suburbs.
In my area, Bosley Park.
I don't even know how to spell, sorry.
That's okay.
Yep, keep going.
I don't know. Hunters Hill.
Well, where did the one from last week come from? You said you did a wedding in the weekend.
They were a referral, and they lived at Auburn actually.
Auburn. Okay, where they come from is important, and I'll tell you why. Because that's where you're going to hang out. Not literally, but you're going to be visible. You need to be visible in these areas. So if you work just in your radius, and that's where you want to work, then you'd say, my local area, because I don't want to travel. I want to have a business. So you start to set the rules as well. I don't want to travel 2 hours to do a wedding, so they've got to live and have
Sydney?
Okay. All right, so let's go a little bit deeper. Tell us about this person.
What I have done in terms of weddings before. So.
Okay, let's talk more about her and less about you.
Okay.
Let's just think about what's important to her.
Okay, she wants a great wedding photographer that has experience.
Okay, she wants experience. We're going to talk more about what age is she? Range.
25 to
Is
35.
it design? Likes designing things, likes the good stuff. Does she work in corporate or has she got family money or?
Both.
Yeah? And here we have the response to seeing your answer. There you go. I was worried about using this photographer because I wasn't sure that they were really going to get the images. But I was ridiculous in worrying about that because I got way more than I expected. And you can get the stuff by asking the right questions. Did you have any reservations before hiring me? Okay. So we want to get into the mind of these people to understand why might they not buy from us. So what could be some reasons, do you think? So there could be price, there could be your experience, maybe. I mean, if you've been doing this for years then, but if you're early in business, it could be your experience. Cleverness, I think it's the right way around. So it looks all pretty and she's got a great brand and she's very consistent and it's herself. So it's, you know, she's being unique. But I'm a bit not sure where to find stuff. Okay, yes, I can meet Kirsty. Does this pointless or time? I mean, I did because I was, and you might, okay, you might, but try and make it easy on your customer. Make the navigation names easy. Don't be all fancy. Just make it simple. Magdalena Burney, her photography is beautiful. This is her about page. I get her lips. It's very stylish. I get no words, I get a quote. I know nothing about first person, and then later on it says third person. So just keep it first person.
Sorry, the about